You're listening to Pastimes on the mic every hour, every minute, every second. There's something new happening in your favorite pastime. Get all caught up here. Follow us on Instagram, X, YouTube, and TikTok. Send us any questions you got. Here is our Gmail down below. Fantasy football's over. Speaking of fantasy football, we got some champs out in here. We got some champs up in here. Fantasy hockey, basketball's in full swing. Baseball drafts are started soon. So if you got a question, let us know. It's right there. Boys, it's officially wild card weekend in the NFL. How we feeling?
I just want to give a congratulations to Dennis. You won? You didn't want to tell me?
Yes, I won
Did
the fantasy league.
Did our tips help? Did we make any good decisions for you?
Yeah, Adam Thielen put up 3.2 points and DJ Moore put up like 20. So yeah, I'm glad I'm glad I listened to you guys.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Aaron Jones went off. Of course he did. He's my best big game player. Anytime I need a big week from Aaron Jones,
glad he went off for you. He didn't go off for me at all this year. He actually was off the field all year.
Yeah, he really was. But when he played,
Yes.
Especially Alvin Kamara went down. I will say though, my championship is so fugazi. If the kid I was going up against paid 1/8 the amount of attention to his team that I did, there's no way I would have.
Did you win money?
Yeah, I won 350.
Oh, there you go.
He's going to be getting 350.
And that's despite Jalen Hurts being the third or arguably fourth best quarterback in the Giants versus Eagles game. He sucked.
That was a blowout. Another meaningless game too. The Giants won.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, hold on a second though. That the Eagles tried in the first quarter.
They did. They did.
They were terrible. The Giants were. There was not a single down. The Giants weren't better than them.
The Giants could actually have made the playoffs this year. I'm no bullshit.
Yeah, that's not me like saying it as like, oh, Giants fan, of course, reveling in the Eagles loss. It's like objective that the Giants like beat the shit out of them.
Yeah,
I was saying it to Nick because we watched both games. We watched Washington. We were going back and forth watching Washington and Giants, and I said to Nick and my brother, I'm like, honestly, like. Yeah, I want the 2 pick, or I want an earlier pick. But at the same time, I also don't care if Washington beats the Cowboys, or if my brother said the same thing. I don't care if the Giants beat the Eagles. It's a division game. Like,
yeah, why not?
Like, I want Washington to screw the Dallas Cowboys over getting the number 1 pick or the number 1 seed in the NFC. And I'm sure you can say that as well, saying the Giants screwed over the Eagles. Like, it's just a division game. Like, you still want to win those games just because there's something to talk about, something to brag about.
You want to gloat, man. You want to gloat.
Especially because of how the Eagles played us last year. They eliminated us from the playoffs. But 2, our entire team was hurt. And I thought that the way Nick Sirianni and their team was acting.
Hate him.
I hate him so
deserve
much.
it. No more deserving team than that team to get that type of beat down.
So I was glad that we got to stick it in them to the point where Tommy DeVito looked so much. He had 2 passes, both of them were completions, but in the 5-6 downs he played, he had 6 or 7 downs, whatever, better than Jalen Hurts had that game. And that hurts on my fantasy league, so I was expecting him to go off, and I was just like, "Oh my god!"
He also messed up his finger.
At one point, this guy was leading the MVP race. That's insane.
Yeah, he messed up his finger bad.
Yeah,
they said he didn't fracture it,
even before that, man. My opinion, I don't think there's a single game that changed my opinion for the playoffs more than that Giants-Eagles game.
The last month and a half, the Eagles have been they were 1-5 or 1-6 or something like that. They've been on they're a team that could be pretty devastating come playoffs.
I think
they're
first time ever a team that was 10-1 didn't win their division since the Jets did it in the 80s.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was, but
Jets. Of course, it was the Jets.
Yeah. I guess the coach's name was or GM's name was Joe something. Rich Eisen was talking about it on the Rich Eisen show. I forget it. I don't know, but yeah, it was crazy that their collapse because their defense is bad.
Yeah,
they might have the worst defense in the playoffs.
They demoted their DC and gave it to
Matt Patricia.
Oof.
That worked out well for every other team he's been with since Bill Belichick was hand holding him.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad I won my fantasy championship, and I'm mad I forgot to get the Burger King crown.
There you go.
I won my Burger King crown. Yeah.
Nice piece of hardware right there. But yes, Dennis will be getting his 350 after this show. And speaking of the Eagles, yes, they're in the playoffs, and so are a few other teams. So let's get right into it. Let's talk some wild card weekend predictions. So here are the matchups. About to share the screen.
There's some good matchups. I like the story between the Lions and Stafford. I like that story.
There's a few of those too, like the Mike McCarthy going up against the Packers again.
Yeah.
The Browns, even though Watson's not playing, that Browns Texans thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good storylines. You got Stafford versus Goff. Obviously, they got traded for each other a couple years back. The Rams have already, got their piece of the bargain. They won the championship 2 years ago already. And yeah, Mike McCarthy versus his old team as well. Tyreek Hill versus the Chiefs.
Mhm.
There's some redemption and revenge tours in this. So this is great. So I know we talked about the Eagles. So how do you guys feel about the Eagles versus the Bucks?
I want to say Bucks, but like it's
part of me saying Bucks. Everyone knows. Like, I love Jalen Hurts, and I was pretty high on him, but they're playing like crap. They've been playing crap the last few.
Baker Mayfield's a baller. I just don't know. I mean, listen, Bucks have a great offense. I think with their Rashad White, Mike Evans, Godwin, Otten's turned up to be a pretty good tight end. And I do think it's going to be an offensive game because the Eagles defense sucks. I'm not too familiar with the Bucks defense. I mean, I know they have, who's it? Levante David.
Yep.
They have good. They do have a good secondary as well. It really all comes down to how Jalen Hurts comes out and shows out, because as of late, like we just said earlier, hasn't been too great. Their defense isn't great. They are a little banged up too, right? AJ Brown got hurt against the Giants. Devontae Smith was out against the Giants. I'm not sure how 80-year-old Julio Jones is gonna do. I'll say this game's gonna be closer than people think, but I'm gonna have to say Eagles, and I hate to say it, but they'll lose to the 49ers.
Nick, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
Yeah, I'll go quick because I think I pretty much agree with Guy. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think Mike Evans is going to have a freaking day. I think he's having a freaking day against that Eagles defense. But when it comes down to the finish line, I think the Eagles might just pull out a lucky win. And then, they're going to get creamed by the 49ers next week. So that's my take on it.
I think the Buccaneers are going to destroy them.
Wow.
I hope so.
I think they're going to destroy them.
I hope so.
The fact that Tyrod Taylor and Darius Slayton picked apart their defense, and now you have to go up against Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans, who might be a top 5 quarterback wide receiver duo in the postseason.
Yeah.
And AJ Brown, they're saying that he might play. Nick Sirianni, I have a theory that guy wants to kill his players. The amount of times you see their guys get absolutely, and Guy might know this because he's a Commanders fan, so he watches the division. The amount of times you see their guys get absolutely annihilated, and they still stay in games, that has to catch up to them at some point, man.
Yeah.
Like Jalen Hurts, to earlier in the year, Hurts was having players are scared of their coach.
Yeah, he was having lower half. Jalen Hurts supposedly was having lower half of his body issues throughout the entire season. So let's keep doing the tush push and literally smashing into him.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's bizarre. They're saying that they're confident that AJ Brown's going to play for this week. I saw that injury. If that's going to take him 8 days, because they're playing on Monday, if that's going to take him 8 days to recover from.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. His leg got mangled. And not to mention
fucking the field they were playing on.
Right. But listen. Everybody talks about how elite their offensive line is. 5 sacks for a loss of 37 yards against the Giants. So there are nicks in the armor that you can expose here. And I understand this isn't the Jason Pierre-Paul defense that won them the championship, but Shaq Barrett is still there.
Yeah.
They still have guys. Antoine Winfield is still there. They have guys that have made plays for them in the past. And not to mention Rashad White's been a shredder lately. As Guy had talked about, Cade Otton has been very good. Chris Godwin's good. This has trap game written all over it. I think a lot of people are going to pick the Eagles, and because the Buccaneers, I don't even think we're the best team in their division. I think the Saints were, and I think a lot of people are going to pick the Buccaneers, but I honestly are going to pick the Eagles. I honestly think the Buccaneers. There's no reason for them not to win.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
could definitely pull it out. They could definitely pull out a victory there
Definitely,
against a banked up
definitely.
Eagles, and
And
this is
if
a good
there's
time to do it.
and if there's one team that can pull BS out of their ass, it's a Baker Mayfield team. This has Steelers Browns playoff game a few years ago written all over it. Everybody expected the Steelers to destroy them, and it wasn't even close for a second. From the opening play of that game,
Yeah.
the Browns just couldn't stop pummeling them. So I'm going Buccaneers. Also, I like their logo more.
There's a lot of people on the Bucks that were on the Super Bowl winning team with Tom Brady.
Exactly.
So they have that.
Right.
They know what they need to do to win. And Eagles obviously made it to the Super Bowl last year. I mean, we're shitting on them for being bad as of late, but they're still the Eagles. They could figure. Jalen Hurts, I do have faith in him to bring that team together. I mean, he's all about his quotes. I don't know if you guys see his post games, but he's pretty corny. The stuff he said. It's comedy, but it's still it's both teams are familiar with what it takes to get to the Super Bowl. So I mean, a lot of people are counting out the Bucs, but I don't know. Something about the Eagles, I just feel like they're going to pull this one out, but I do, again, have them losing to the 49ers.
Yeah, and the people who are counting out the Bucs, that I would not do. This is one of those matchups where I guess you would call the Eagles a juggernaut from earlier in the year. They have the most, like, I have the least faith in, like, out of the 49ers, the Dallas Cowboys, like those top NFC teams we're talking about all year. Just the way they've been playing the last couple of weeks, the Eagles, I definitely have the least faith in those top teams. So, yeah, the Bucs, man, I think they're gonna make noise. I think it's gonna be a close game. Shit, it might even go into overtime. It's gonna be a crazy game.
And thank God it was the Bucs to make it out of them, because I'm looking out of the NFC South. Because I mean, I would not want to see a Saints or Falcons make it out of the NFC South.
Definitely not the Falcons.
I would want to see the Saints because they have
the Saints.
Alvin Kamara. They have I don't know if Michael Thomas is even still in the league. The guy gets hurt every week.
No, he's on IR.
God almighty. But they also have, I mean, like the late resurgence of Jimmy Graham. Derek Carr looked fantastic this week.
Olave is a good piece too.
Olave, yeah, thank you, because I was stalling until I remembered his name. And then they have Tyrann Mathieu. Like they have guys on defense that I think like
they're ballers.
You know what I mean? Like
DeMario,
on paper,
I think his name is.
Yeah, like on paper, like they have a team that's like they could have won the division. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the Buccaneers did not look good against the Panthers.
Davis,
they only won 9-0 against an objectively bad team, and even then, it was closer than the scoreboard would suggest. I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. It's gonna be an interesting matchup.
Yeah.
So next up is this is a great storyline right here. The script writers are going nuts this year. Matt Stafford versus Jared Goff. And like I said, the Rams won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So they've already won their end of the bargain. But could the Lions make a run here in the NFC? How are we feeling about this matchup, boys?
Give me the Rams.
Ooh, okay. Dennis, how you feeling?
You know that the Lions are kind of like my second favorite football team. I like the Lions. They're the underdogs. They're the undercats.
I'm going with the Lions as well.
I have to say, if I'm concerned about the Eagles' defense, I got to keep the same energy with my Lions.
The Lions' defense is sus.
It has not looked good lately, and I don't know if the Puka Nacua Cooper Cup tandem is just going to destroy them.
Yeah,
Matt Stafford can air it out.
Yep.
For sure. Yeah. So
for the Lions, I love their run game and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think their offense could compete. This could be another shootout. This could easily be another shootout right here.
There's a lot of things to like on the Lions. There's a lot of things to like. I see what you're saying.
I'm going to pick the Lions because I'm going a little out of the realm here based off the script. I think it's going to be like, oh, Jared Goff and the Lions advance if they win the Super Bowl. You know, they're going to be like, oh, the Rams won a Super Bowl from this trade. Now the Lions, they're making some noise in the playoffs. I can see social media going crazy. They're like, oh, both teams won the trade, stuff like that. Or this is the first time in history 2 teams won the Super Bowl from a trade, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I could see something like that happening. So I'll go with the Lions, just a gut feeling.
There's nothing. I think it's going to be a good game, but again, I know Goff's made a Super Bowl, but I mean, I just think experience. It really comes down to experience and all that in playoffs like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a road game, obviously, for the Rams, but who's more familiar with playing in Detroit than Matthew Stafford?
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like it's gonna come down to experience, and I have the Rams. Rams beating the Lions. Good
Yeah.
story for Stafford and the boys.
Yeah, I think it's the closest game of this week.
Yeah, this could
Definitely.
be a possible overtime game right here. So yeah,
Two great coaches too, McVay and Campbell. Don't forget that.
Yeah. I'm actually curious about Campbell. If he's going to be as aggressive as he usually is now that he's in the playoffs.
I don't think he's going to change himself.
Yeah, a lot of coaches try not to, do what got you there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, too, they have the amount of times they snatched victory from the jaws of defeat because they don't know. Because, they're too aggressive.
Yeah.
Like now, you got to win.
Yeah.
You got to win. There's no next time.
Yep. You made it here. You got to do it now. It's up.
Des called it. No, he didn't.
Yep. Cowboys versus Packers. Always a good one right here.
Mike McCarthy. The Mike McCarthy revenge tour begins.
Yep. I just want to shout out to my boy Jordan Love real quick. I was pretty high on the beginning of the year. This guy balled out this year, man. I think he had 30+ touchdowns this year. He's in the playoffs. I gotta give this man some credit, but I think the Packers run ends here. Dallas is too stacked, dude.
Definitely Dallas for sure.
How you feeling, Dallas?
I think if the Packers win this one, I think they'll come out of the NFC, but I think the Cowboys are going to win.
Yeah,
that's a good take.
I just think like the Packers, they are capable of getting hot. We saw it earlier this season. I'm curious to see how Aaron Jones plays. When he does well, the whole team does well. When he struggles, the whole team struggles. So I know everybody likes to look at Jordan Love and whatnot, but I really do think, the tip of their spear is Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
The wide receiver room, we know that it's not elite or anything like that. It's serviceable, but not great. The defense at times leaves a lot to be desired for. But at the same time, too, it seemed like they always found a way to keep games close, not too dissimilar from like the Steelers or teams like that this season. So we'll see. Also, it's not like the Cowboys are incapable of shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, very true.
So there's that part of it. But I do think the Cowboys, they definitely should win this one. 1,000%.
Yeah.
But if the Packers do, watch out. This could really heat them up.
And Dennis, to your point, is Aaron Jones the most seasoned veteran on this Packers team at this point? He's got to be, right?
I would guess so, because I don't know who else is on there. Maybe people on defense or offensive linemen.
I think
kind of blank on those. I feel like Jair Alexander's been there for a while, right? Am I crazy? Or
Preston Smith's on there because I know him from Washington.
I know Mercedes Lewis isn't there anymore, who is their blocking tight end.
No,
I don't think Robert Tanyan's there anymore. I don't know.
No, Tanyan's gone.
What's the lineman's name? Bentiani or?
Oh,
Bakhtiari?
yeah, but he's hurt.
Bakhtiari.
Hurt? David Bakhtiari.
Yeah, that was the dude the Jets were trying to get for a bit.
I actually thought he had a career-ending injury, or he considered retiring or something earlier this season.
I mean,
I'll look it
he's
up.
best friends with Rodgers, so I'm sure he retired. He probably didn't retire. I'm just saying.
He played at some point this year, but I think he had a season-ending injury.
Yeah, he's pretty banged up. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, the Packers, I think, are gonna make some noise that game though. But the Cowboys should win that. They don't. That's tragic. All right, going to the AFC now a little bit here. The Cleveland Browns take on the Houston Texans. Who wants to start us off?
Give me the Texans.
Oh,
this one's
first
tough.
of all, I'm not going to give you my. This is my round pick. I'm going to give you my winner pick for the AFC. But first, David Bakhtiari didn't retire. He's planning on playing next season, but he did have a season-ending injury.
Okay.
So he's not going to be playing. I have the Browns winning this one and have the Browns winning the AFC.
Oh my god!
It is a
Flacco story.
perfect
Flacco running the table.
Wow. The Flaccasants. Dude, it is the perfect story.
It is.
It is the perfect story. A downtrodden franchise that has had nothing go their way since the team moved. You see what the Ravens have done over the years, going to deep playoff runs and whatnot. They'll beat them in the second round. And then the old dynasty of the 50s from the, back when it was the great American sport, the tough ruggedness, going up against either the flashy Dolphins or this new dynasty fighting to stay alive. Browns versus Dolphins or Chiefs in the, later on.
Yeah.
Or Steelers, this other team from their division, bitter rivalry, or another team that's been downtrodden over time in the Bills. It is the perfect story, and to get them there, a washed-up veteran who nobody had any faith in coming off the couch, dude.
It is
their
very
best player, Nick Chubb, their best player got hurt week 1.
Yep.
And they're still here. I honestly just think this is a team of destiny for the AFC. I really do.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's no more. It's like an NFL story. It really is.
It really is. I could see the NFL films of this season.
It's going to
for
be
the
a fucking
Browns.
movie. To be made into a movie.
Yeah, seriously.
Plus,
Brad Pitt as Joe Flacco.
If the Browns, he might be younger. If the Browns make it to the Super Bowl, I take full responsibility. I went to Cleveland earlier this year. Never been to Cleveland once in my life. I go there instantly. They make it to the Super Bowl. You're welcome.
I mean, I do the Browns. I have Stefanski as I know I'm going a little ahead, but that's my coach of the year pick.
100%.
100%. But I don't know. I mean, he is a could lead up to another storyline headline. Joe Flacco versus old team, the Ravens.
I
Right.
think that's what's gonna happen.
That's a good storyline too. But I do believe. I have to go with the Texans. I'm sorry to cut your story short.
Yeah.
Disney World story.
I know, but it goes deeper than that. Like, it's not just that Flacco used to be on the Ravens. The Ravens used to be the Browns.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, the Ravens stole their team. Like, that's going to be insane if they meet in the playoffs. Also, let's be honest, the Texans have had some injuries.
Yeah.
So,
and a ruthless defense at home. Oh, no, excuse me, on the road. They're not home. But, I don't know. The Browns, they're nasty. And they have more experience.
The Browns' defense is nasty. And I think if Tank Dell was still healthy, I feel like I probably would have.
Nico Collins, bro.
Nico Collins is nasty, but still, you're losing
Noah Brown.
No, the Texans are nasty. I think it's going to be a close game.
Dalton Schultz.
But here's my thing. I'm going to kind of piggyback on Dennis a little bit here. I think the Browns win because we get that Joe Flacco versus the Ravens matchup. But I'm going a little too ahead of myself as well. I think the Ravens win, and Joe Flacco was Lamar Jackson's backup QB when he first came on the scene. Lamar Jackson gets that playoff win. I could see him and Joe Flacco hugging out at the end. I feel like that's a great storyline.
CJ Stroud's a baller, bro.
So, CJ Stroud is a baller as well. But like you said, experience with Cleveland.
I know.
I'm going to slightly lean Cleveland, but I think, again, it's another great match, another good game. CJ Stroud's going to be around for a while.
Give me the Texans.
I'm going with the Browns, slightly the Browns, just because of that Ravens matchup. I think it has to happen. It has to happen.
I don't know. I do.
Texans have a better offense. I agree, for sure.
And if Tank Dell was still there, I mean.
If Tank Dell is there, I would probably lean Texans a little bit more. More weapons. You can't go wrong with that. Nico Collins is a stud as well. But it's just that I'm really going by script shit here. That Browns-Ravens matchup has to happen. The NFL wants that, I feel like, so bad. It's got to happen.
Yeah, I went full waxing poetic history major there.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn about this round. I just care about a good story. But I do think, like, on paper, their teams are comparable. Like, Elijah Moore and Amari Cooper
are
really good.
Yeah.
Like, really good. So it's not completely one-sided. And not to mention, like, Jerome Ford's been very good this season, as has Kareem Hunt. Not that he's been great or anything, or Kareem Hunt in the past, but a serviceable, battery running back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. And a guy that gets no credit, man, David Njoku, Two-Face. Love that guy, man.
Yeah. Love that guy. He literally got burnt.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I love that guy.
No, he's been good this year too. He's actually looked like the tight end they were drafted when he came out of college. Since
Flacco has taken over this team, they're unstoppable. They're unstoppable. Those two together. It's like Brady and Gronk. It really is. Anytime he throws it to Njoku, it's a catch. Every time. Doesn't matter the coverage. It's unbelievable how good they've been.
Yeah, and Flacco's really riding a high right now too into the playoffs as well. So we'll see what happens. The Chiefs versus the Dolphins.
I don't know if you guys know, but the game it's expected to be below 0.
In Kansas City, right?
in
Wear the
Kansas City.
parka.
Yeah.
Everybody
And
get your
no, I
parkas.
mean Miami, man, they're used to playing in that nice weather.
I'm going with the Chiefs on this one.
You know what though? They're used to playing in nice weather, but something that always translates well to those cold games: run game.
Yeah.
And the Dolphins can run them off the field.
Mostert's playing, right?
I believe so, yeah.
As far as I know, yeah.
But also Pacheco's
is
an
AP.
animal too, so it could
If you
play
guys didn't know, the game's
as well.
also on Peacock as well. That game. So
Also,
on Peacock. Do you
they're
guys have
banking it.
Peacock?
They're banking in
I
on
do.
the Swifties buying Peacock. It's a power move.
Yeah.
It is. It's great. Have you watched? Have you been bombarded with those Love Island USA ads like I always get? Only on Peacock, Love Island USA.
I'm only on Peacock when I'm watching WWE. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm slowly getting back into wrestling because I guess the Royal Rumble's coming up. So
yeah,
now
it
everything on my YouTube feed is just wrestling videos. I'm like, all right, I'll get suckered back in again.
No, yeah, it is. It's gonna be. I mean, Randy Orton's back, CM Punk's back. It's a good time to watch.
Yeah, I only care about the big Kahuna, the Royal Rumble match.
Yeah,
or matches because the women's have one now too.
Yes,
it's come a long way since I was born in 2000. It's come a long way.
We'll definitely have a WWE segment on the show for you guys. So,
Nick, are you a wrestling fan?
Nah, I was never really into it. I know some names, but I never really got into it crazy. But I don't follow up the news on it or anything. It's cool though. It's dope.
Anyway, I'm gonna pick the Chiefs.
yeah, I'm picking Chiefs here. I think the cold weather, and I still think it's gonna be a good game. I think the Dolphins are gonna put up points. It's
Picking the Dolphins, baby. Picking the Dolphins. We'll pretend this is a Dolphin.
Oh, that's why you're wearing the jersey. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I found the use for it afterwards.
A Florida man.
Wasn't planned. Yeah. No, the Chiefs have not been good this season.
They have.
They've been a bad team. They're a bad team.
I think
all I'm saying is there is a half. There's a half in October or September, whenever it was, a cold, frosty night where Zach Wilson was clearly better than Patrick Mahomes. It was for one half. For one half.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I also think the playoffs.
I do think the Dolphins have had so many injuries to their defense.
Yeah.
So they
brought in freaking what's his name.
It's either going to be a nail biter and Dolphins win, or it's going to be a complete, total massacre and the Chiefs win.
I think the NFL wants to ride this Taylor Swift, train. Just piggy bank for at least one more game. So I think
their love story. Chiefs just say yes. That's what it is. I can imagine it now. Confetti falling, Taylor Swift kissing Super Bowl MVP Travis Kelce in his last game before he retires. Rides off into the sunset and on tour with Taylor Swift.
Stop. I hate how possible that is. Like, that's probably what it's good.
What am I doing here? I should be writing for the NFL.
Yeah, seriously. We should all get hired. Oh, my God. Steelers,
I wonder how they
Bills.
find people.
Yeah, right.
Can I get that job on LinkedIn?
Key player not in TJ Watt. I feel like if TJ Watt was playing, it'd be a little bit more closer of a game.
Huge
but
loss.
I mean, the record with him not playing with the Steelers is 1-10. So
Mason Rudolph has a good record. So maybe
I mean, listen, the Steelers, I got to give them credit. You know, they made it to the they made it to the playoffs. Another winning season for Mike Tomlin. But I mean, the Bills got hot at the right time. Steelers lost their best player at the wrong time. It's just not a good matchup. I looked at the odds. My friend said the Steelers are plus 330. And that was before TJ Watt news dropped. So I can only imagine what their odds are at now. I'm going to have to go Bills.
I agree. I'm going with the Bills. It's just it's too much of a good trajectory versus a bad trajectory in the Steelers. Yeah. So I got to go with the Bills. Like they're on a win streak. They just won the division. So I'm sure they're feeling themselves right now. They're riding a high. I got to go with the Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with the Billies, but I do think that it could maybe the Steelers pull something out.
Yeah,
the coaching at times for the Bills has struggled. Mike Tomlin has been one of the better coaches in the past 15 years.
It's a good name.
And Mason Rudolph, man, run Rudolph. Let's see what kind of playoff run these Steelers can go on.
There we go.
Yeah. That was good. I like that.
Thank you. I'm here all night. Don't forget to tip your waitresses.
Do you want to make picks for the awards this year?
Let's do it.
When do the awards come out? When does that happen? Is that between the Super Bowl and the?
I think it's like before the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Isn't it Pro Bowl week?
It might be.
Yeah, something like that.
I forget. I could look it up. I should look it up.
Yeah.
You want to go from save the MVP for last? Because
Yeah, I'll say the MVP for last. I think we all know who we're gonna pick. I think, but
yeah,
yeah. So let's do it. Let's do MVP last. Well, let's start with Coach of the Year because I think this one's easy.
we'll just get it out of the way. Stefanski.
Yep. Yeah, easily. Like I
Of the
said,
Browns.
he lost Nick Chubb week 1. He's went through what 4 different quarterbacks. Like, come on,
Yeah.
dude. That's insane.
And we're here sitting about talking about Joe Flacco beating the Texans. I mean, he put him in a good spot, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's my pick.
It looks like Thursday, February 8th at 9:00 p.m. on CBS.
What day
Are
is
the
Super Bowl?
NFL awards?
Super Bowl's a little later now, right? Because the extra
Yeah,
week.
because the extra week.
Yeah.
So Coach of the Year award, I'm going with Kevin Stefanski. Now, a buddy of mine, Joshua Gable, shout out Joshua Gable, my college radio show host, is a Texans season ticket holder. He lives in Houston now. And even he said it should go to Kevin Stefanski.
I think it's pretty. I think
Getting
you
to the
should clear
playoffs with
board.
4 different
Yeah.
starting quarterbacks, how do you beat that?
That's
Although
what-
D'Amico Ryans, if there was like a rookie Coach of the Year award, unanimous.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible season for him.
Look at us just making up
Finishing
awards.
second place to this one is for this year. There's no shame in that. Honestly, even if they wanted to do like who was it? Was it Kurt Warner or Brett Favre and Terrell? Was it Terrell Davis, the running back from the Broncos that split MVP one year? Even if they wanted to like tie it like that, or Jason Kidd and Grant Hill years ago, I would have no issue with it. One of them got there with a basically all rookie coaching staff, all rookie roster, practically. The other one had 4 starting quarterbacks, and their best player got taken out for the year. Their best offensive player got taken out of the year week 1.
Yeah.
Can't really go wrong with either or. So
Yep.
I'd vote for Kevin Stefanski. If it's D'Amico Ryans, I'm not going to be like flipping out on Twitter.
Yeah. And
This is the worst day of my life.
And for some reason, I'm friends with a bunch of Colts fans. I don't know why. They're all just Colts fans. And even they were saying
awesome.
the Browns head coach should win. And like the Colts head coach had a great year too. He lost Anthony Richardson, bunch of
He lost
guys.
Anthony Richardson like 10 different times.
Yeah, exactly. So, and they were making some noise. Didn't make the playoffs, but they had a good season overall. But yeah, I'm definitely going with the Browns head coach.
Yeah.
What he did this year was phenomenal. Defensive rookie of the year. I'll be honest, I got to brush up on the defensive rookies a little bit here.
I got to get the stats up. I know who I'm picking. I'm picking Will Anderson Jr. of the Houston Texans.
That's good.
And a little caveat of Christian Gonzalez of the Patriots. I feel bad for. He had a very good season.
Yeah, he's nasty. Yeah.
So Will Anderson, though, I really thought did a good job.
So I'm looking at the favorites right now, just seeing like who's the candidates. Jalen Carter and the Eagles is the current favorite, -130 odds. Will Anderson, good pick, Dennis. He's second. Christian Gonzalez is third, plus 5,000. So it looks like it's between Jalen Carter and Will Anderson, pretty much.
Yeah, Will Anderson had 7 sacks, 29 solo tackles. I'll see if I can find the comparison on Pro Football Reference.
And he was another first round pick for the Texans after Stroud, correct?
Yeah,
Yep.
they traded like up for him or something like that. I think.
He got picked 5th. I could be wrong on that, but
No, yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. Will Anderson's a good pick.
so I'm gonna pick. Who is the other one? Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
He's the current favorite.
All right, so I'm comparing them on Pro Football Reference.
Defensive tackle.
And okay, hold on a second. Will Anderson had 1 less game, had 1 more sack, 9 more solo tackles, 2 fewer fumbles, 1 less fumble recovery. More tackles for loss, more
Will
tackles.
Anderson. I feel like it's a lock at this
22 quarterback hits to 9. How is he not the favorite?
I'm pretty sure
he did it in less
like
games.
The top pick. I'm not gonna lie.
Will Anderson.
Yeah, I'll probably go Will Anderson too. I know I studied these guys much this season, so I'll take you guys' word for it. Go Will Anderson.
Offensive rookie of the year.
I don't think anybody on the Eagles defense should win any award.
Gotta be Puka Nacua, right?
I don't know. I feel like it's Nacua or CJ Stroud. I'm gonna have to go Stroud.
Puka Nacua beat all those wide receiver records now.
It's not a bad. I mean, it's a pretty. It's a pretty close race, but I think Stroud takes it.
I would prefer CJ Stroud, but how the NFL awards it, I think Puka Nacua is going to win it, just because I've seen so
It
much
could
more
very
of
well
him in
be
the
him.
media. I'll go for Puka Nacua.
I'm in line with Nick. If it was me, I might go CJ Stroud. Got his team to the playoffs, won his division as a rookie.
I mean, he was an MVP talk for a little bit too.
Right. An excellent quarterback. Arguably should have stayed in the MVP talks longer. But at the same time, too, he did miss some time with injury. Puka Nacua didn't. Puka Nacua started the season off red hot, finished the season red hot. Kind of at times was just went from like elite to just above
because,
average for a little bit.
He does have Cooper Kupp there.
Right. But as a rookie wide receiver, how much are you really expecting from the guy?
Yeah.
They both made the playoffs.
He was a nobody, too. He was an absolute.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be like.
He was a fifth-round pick, right?
Yeah. And you want to hear something? I had the opportunity to draft him in the last round, and I didn't in my fantasy league.
You want
to hear something? The only reason why I didn't take him and somebody else wound up taking him, I thought he had a fun name.
Puka Nacua.
And I really wanted him, and a buddy of mine said to take Evan Gray from the Giants. He said, I think he's going to have a big year.
Oh, my God.
I mean, he might next year when they lose Saquon, but...
Yeah. We'll see.
Hopefully
Evan
it's a keeper
Gray,
league.
It wasn't. It's not. Evan Gray lasted 1 week on my team. Puka Nacua could have won the championship.
Was a league winner.
Yeah. Actually, the guy who won it, despite all the flack he talked, he had Jalen Hurts and Puka Nacua. He lost.
Wow. All right, so how about this? I think Puka Nacua wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, but Rookie of the Year.
Wait, no, is there a Rookie of the Year or is it?
Yeah, there isn't, right? I was about to say that doesn't sound right because it's on the dock. But if I had to pick a Rookie of the Year, it would be CJ Stroud. But
that's fair, I guess.
Yeah, a little fun topic right there. If there was a Rookie of the Year in NFL, like there's like just MVP, I go CJ Stroud. I think it's a good pick.
But then that turns into the same thing, the same problem I have with the MVP, which is it's just going to be the best quarterback, best rookie quarterback's always going to
That's what it is at this point. So I already know my pick for that. But we'll go to Defensive Player of the Year. I think it should be a clean sweep. I'm going TJ Watt.
TJ Watt.
It's like you just said. They're 1-10 without him, and like they're probably gonna get Watt.
He leads the stats. He leads stats in. I'm sorry, Dennis, if you want to pick, but I'm
Myles Garrett.
No.
Just because everybody else is saying Myles Garrett, that's what it looks like.
No, it's TJ Watt.
I know on paper. We went through this last week.
Yeah, last week.
Right?
I will say, a guy has really opened my eyes to the TJ Watt Defensive Player of the Year. He led the league in sacks, right?
He leads the defensive categories in every statistical thing you need to win Defensive Player of the Year, and they're still not talking about him.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right. You can pull it. We went through this last week, so I'm not gonna.
Myles Garrett's a great pick too.
I mean, he's never won it. That's probably why he's the favorite. But I mean, that shouldn't even really come into account when you're talking about who's been the best defensive player of the year. But yeah, I've been pretty open-minded and pretty clear about who I want. And that's good. It's good. It has to be TJ Watt. But
I'll agree. With
NFL pick otherwise.
So Offensive Player of the Year. Christian fucking McCaffrey should be Offensive Player of the Year, hands down.
Go back to sorry to go back real quick, but the betting odds for Defensive Player of the Year is Myles Garrett at -200, Parsons at +300, and TJ Watt at +400.
Parsons is ahead of Watt? That's crazy.
He's probably not gonna win it now, but I would put some coin on Watt when I like those odds.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I just wanted to throw the odds out there.
That's crazy.
To tell you how blind people are to TJ Watt's success.
The NFL voting is easily the worst.
It's so bad.
I don't know much about hockey, so I'll stay out of that. But in comparison to the NBA and MLB, the NFL is so bad at voting.
Yeah, NFL is pretty bad.
It's comedically bad. And you guys know I always go back to the Rodgers MVP, the fourth one. But it is so bad.
Yeah.
They literally just talk about like, okay, who won more games? That guy's gonna get it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's them. They're just like, forget about the stats. It's like toddlers. They're just like toddlers. Like, who won more games?
Yep. So Offensive Player of the Year, I said McCaffrey. I don't know how you guys are feeling. I'm assuming
Lamar.
Really? For Offensive Player of the Year? Yeah,
because my MVP is fucking CMC. That's why.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
Just as the NFL does it, I mean that's how I would do it. And honestly, I would put McCaffrey for MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. The guy has 2,000 scrimmage yards, and he was an absolute unit all season long until he got hurt like 2 weeks ago. But like, I think how it's going to go is either him or Tyreek's going to win Offensive Player of the Year. I feel like they love giving that to running backs and wide receivers, and then the MVP is going to go to the quarterback. It's going to be Lamar Jackson. But yeah, I you can flip flop it either way. I won't disagree. But Offensive Player of the Year for me is McCaffrey. That's just how it's going to go.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, is it who would Dennis vote for, or who is it going to be?
I'm basing off who I would vote for.
So my prediction is that it's going to be Christian McCaffrey. It should be Lamar. It should be Christian McCaffrey winning the Offensive Player of the Year and MVP.
Yes.
Now, because that's just so bizarre to have two.
Yeah, you have an Offensive Player of the Year, and then you have the MVP. And I get it. Defense also plays a part, but it's like
I guess it's almost similar. Well, it's whatever. They do it backwards. It should be Quarterback of the Year and MVP.
Yeah,
MVP Cy Young Award.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Honestly, I was talking about this with my dad. I don't know if Tyreek Hill would get Offensive Player of the Year just because of his past. That's gonna. It's close enough between him and McCaffrey that's gonna matter to one or two voters, and that's gonna swing it.
No.
I mean, the NFL has less voters than the NBA and Major League Baseball. I don't know about hockey, how many voters they have, but the NFL definitely has the least out of those three U.S. ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to matter to somebody. So I think it's going to go to Christian McCaffrey. Not to mention his season was ridiculous.
Insane, dude. Insane.
Ridiculous. But 17 straight touchdown games. Carrying over from last year, obviously.
Yeah,
but still, that's maddening.
I'll pull the stats real quick.
Ridiculous.
I'll name off.
I'll turn into Dennis talking about the MVP award if we continue talking about who should win MVP.
I was going to say 2,000 scrimmage yards for McCaffrey.
Like when Aaron Rodgers won it back to back.
That was I will never get over that. That was so stupid,
it's just
man.
like, how can you not pick Christian McCaffrey?
That was a freaking high school.
I just don't know how you can't pick Christian McCaffrey. I just don't get it.
God. When he won it over Cooper Kupp, the funny thing is he wasn't even the best quarterback that year. It should have been Joe Burrow. If it was quarterback of the year award, it should have been Joe Burrow. Look at the stats.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
I'm going McCaffrey MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Lamar. Leave it at that. Lamar's having a great year, but Christian McCaffrey's having a better year. And if you take Christian McCaffrey off that team, not the same team.
Yeah. And
not the same team.
Yeah, for MVP, I'm going McCaffrey as well, but it's going to be Lamar Jackson. It's going to be him.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with it, but it's going to be. You're right.
It's going to be Lamar. It's going to be him. But yeah, I haven't said it all year long. It should be Christian McCaffrey. He should bring home Offensive Player of the Year and MVP, hands down. You should get both.
Yeah.
But it's the NFL. They love QBs. Lamar Jackson, the odds favorites are insane. It's going to go to him. And I love Lamar Jackson. I do. I think if any QB does deserve it, because not many QBs have really impressed me too much this year. I guess
that right there should be the reason why it shouldn't be a quarterback.
And
that's why I'm with Guy, is because you're right. No quarterback really impressed it. It's not that Lamar is having a great season. It's nobody else.
His team's in the number one team in the league. Yeah, but that shouldn't matter.
It should be. It should definitely be Christian McCaffrey.
It's an individual award. Why are we giving it to the team with the best record with the best player on the team?
And you want to hear something hilarious? I completely agree with you. And if we were talking about baseball, I would be the exact opposite.
Yeah.
It is like I'm sick of Mike Trout getting the MVP award. I'm sick of it. I saw Aaron Judge carry a awful roster into the American League Championship Series in 22. My standard for MVPs for baseball is skyrocketing. And my standard for MVPs in the NFL is just turning into anybody who isn't a quarterback. Because half of them don't deserve it anyway.
To fact check myself, going back a while, Adam Peters is the assistant GM of the 49ers. And he's predicted to be the head football operations of Washington.
There's no better team you can really get people from. So, I mean, that's...
Yeah, why not?
I'm not going to complain. Like I said, Washington's just been a disappointment my whole life. So, I mean, this is probably them turning the corner a little bit. And, you got the Dan Snyder saga over with. Ron Rivera's gone. But, again, I'll give my apples and flowers to Ron Rivera for turning that team into somewhat of a playable, watchable team.
Somewhat competitive.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, he won the NFC East at a 7-9 record because the Cowboys lost Dak to a backwards ankle, and
I hated that game.
The Eagles intentionally blew a game against the Giants for a better pick.
The Giants should have won the division that year.
Yeah, it was just a shit year, and I mean that's the year Tom Brady won the.
That year, the Giants missed the playoffs by one game.
Yeah, it was because
if you go back to the Cowboys Giants game where Dak got hurt, the refs handed the game to the Cowboys. There was two touchdowns that were called back that should not have been called back.
Daniel Jones
the officiating
almost
was
die on the field?
The officiating was so bad that even Tony Romo called out the officials on the broadcast for the fucking Giants. A team that literally turned this guy's brain into mashed potatoes so many times. Even he was like, "These referees,
we missed an award.
Referees need to go to Costco."
We missed an award, Comeback Player of the Year, the most controversial award of the year this year.
Oh, yeah, Comeback Player of the Year.
Joe Flacco.
Right. You know how I feel about this. You know how I feel about this.
I want to listen up real quick.
Listen, DeMar Hamlin won the award as soon as he stepped onto the field. That's
precisely.
So I mean, it's
definitely DeMar Hamlin.
It should be
like, come on, bro. Like he's not even that good.
That doesn't matter. It's just the fact that this dude died and came back. Like it's the same shit with Alex Smith and Ben Roethlisberger a couple of years ago. Ben Roethlisberger shitted Alex Smith out the water in stats. Every stat, Ben Roethlisberger was better. Alex Smith shredded his leg and came back.
NFL will be crucified if
it's not like how well you do. It's what you came back from. Is like
but that's the thing is. What does the award mean? It's the most improved player of award for the NBA. With Ja Morant, I will never take the most improved player seriously in the NBA again. Ja Morant shouldn't have won it.
That was bullshit.
That was second overall pick and win it over. As much as I hate Jordan Poole, win it over a guy who was out of the fucking league.
It has to go to guys like, I remember when Giannis won it, he was a twig when he first came up. Wasn't really a prize prospect.
He improved. Jalen Rose was almost a draft bust. He won the most improved player when Larry Bird took over. That made sense.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just go from you were good to really good when this guy was trash to borderline all-star.
Yeah, dude, Ja Morant was averaging like 20 a game season prior, and then he averaged 27 MIP.
And it's a huge jump. To jump from 20 to 27 is bigger than 15 to 20, but still, it was a guy was out of league in Jordan Poole and played himself back into it. Now, flipping back to the NFL, what does Comeback Player of the Year award mean? Because Geno Smith shouldn't have fucking won it last year. And now I have no idea what the award means. He sucked. Saquon Barkley is a running back that came back from an ACL injury. But this guy sucked. This guy sucked for 10 years. But this guy, his entire career almost fell apart. You tell me who should have won it. It's the guy whose career sucked for 10 years and had one good year? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Sorry that I don't understand what the fuck this means.
Yeah. I will say this in the NFL. I think the Comeback Player of the Year in the NFL is very. You brought up Aaron Rodgers talking about how he was like a high school president, whatever. I think this award, that's the most. That means that's very like. All right, we all agree. DeMar Hamlin almost died. He's an automatic win. Granted, I still think he should win. Yes, but you got to keep it.
Didn't Michael Vick win it after he got arrested? I think he did.
I'm pretty sure.
You could look it up and fact check me. Years ago in high school, I did a senior project on something, and I was long story short, that was a part of it. And that's one of those things that it's like, how am I supposed to take this league seriously?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to take it seriously? Now I think baseball tries too hard to be like the moral, upstanding citizens.
Yeah.
But I think the NBA is a little more realistic with it.
Yeah.
But like some of them, it really is like, all right, so one guy came back from being bad. The other guy came back from dying on live TV.
Yeah.
I don't get it, man. I don't get
it. It's definitely like an award for like, it's for stories, man. That's all it is. It's for clicks and like, it's like, oh wow, this guy almost died. Let me read about him. Like that's, non-football fans might want to read into that. That's probably like, I don't know.
If I was one of the voters, I would wait for everybody else to submit their ballot in and ask them who they went for. And because it's, out of 3 now, you give 3 options. Because after the Aaron Rodgers MVP. And you have 3 options now. I would try to jockey the points in a way where it's a tie.
No.
That way, they both win. And I know people are going to say it's a cop-out, but until they make the award clearer or have a most improved player, which would go to Flacco this year, then it's how am I supposed to make sense of it? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
And by the way, I am so glad that we are allowed to be vulgar on this show.
Yeah.
And and Matt and Chad could just let me run loose for a little bit.
Yeah, no, I hear that. That's what Pastimes is all about, man. We get we get
the
passionate.
awards. Everything else I'm fine with. It's just the awards because it's so arbitrary.
Yeah. Comeback player of the year in the NFL is definitely not consistent. It's like you said, Saquon should have won. He had that gruesome injury and he came back balled out. Joe Flacco, I get it. He was kind of off the radar for a while and he came back, but DeMar Hamlin literally died and came back. Alex Smith probably could never play football again. He came back. I think the award should go to guys like that, like Alex Smith and DeMar Hamlin. It's like no one would thought you would come back from that. Or
if you outright retire and come back.
Yeah, it's something
that's
crazy.
That's like a little different. But
Joe Flacco.
And Joe
Flacco, man. I always kind of liked Joe Flacco. I was on the Ravens.
Player, sure.
I was on the Ravens. Flag football, of course. Yeah. But I was a Raven. I appreciate.
In that case, I was a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Wow, I was a Charger. I was a journeyman.
I was an Arizona Diamondback in my baseball days. Chicago White Sox. We won a ring. Good times.
All right.
Dude, I'll never forget being a national and upsetting the Dodgers. Their team, honestly, their team was loaded, and we were one of the worst teams in the league, and we upset them. And it was great.
That's awesome.
No, I'm sorry, we weren't the Nationals. That you were the Diamondbacks, the D-backs.
Oh, you were a D-back too?
D-backs.
D-back. Hell yeah.
It was great sharing a locker room with you, Nick. We're great teammates. The best.
Those were good times. I remember Randy and Luis Gonzalez, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. We will need to have a beer again sometime. But
me and Tony Womack, we still golf together.
Tony Womack. All right. Anything else from football you guys want to talk about? Or
no.
Well. All right. Well, thank you. This was our football segment here on Pastimes on the Mic. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. We're here. Football season. Wild card weekend is in full swing. Email us who you think's going to win. This was Pastimes on the Mic. Thank you, everybody.